Tonight on The Roast, Qantas is bombarded by angry social media users, Japanese car manufacturers recall 3 million cars, and John Howard scores an invite to Margaret Thatcher's funeral. Let's hope he can tell her family that he's sorry for their loss. Former Prime Minister John Howard has been named as Australia's official representative for Margaret Thatcher's funeral after Julia Gillard passed on the opportunity to sit and look at a dead person in a box. And since dead people in boxes really care about what you look like as you send them off, the official dress code gave the option of full ceremonial dress, but did request that mourners arrive without swords. News that devastated Mr Howard, who'd planned to wear his usual ceremonial kimono and accompanying katana. Now, the dress code also stated that military medals and decorations may be worn because nothing really shows respect for the dead like turning up to a funeral wearing medals that say, "Hey, look at all the funerals I've caused." Joining us now live from London is Nick Richardson. Nick, John Howard's been chosen as our national representative for Ms Thatcher's funeral, but wasn't he already invited due to his membership in the Queen's Order of Merit?
Oh, absolutely, Tom, and Mr Howard is looking forward to taking advantage of those 2 seats at the funeral. My sources tell me he'll probably do that sit in the middle of 2 chairs thing, giving each individual butt cheek its own unencumbered space. And if the former PM gets sleepy, he can just lie down and take a nap.
Okay, why was he selected as our national representative?
Well, he's good at that hand over the other hand grief handshake. And we needed a representative who wouldn't eat all the tiny sandwiches at the wake, which ruled out Kim Beazley.
Okay, and so Mr Howard was happy to take on that responsibility?
Yes, Tom. Howard selflessly agreed to take on the burden of an all-expenses-paid trip to London to rub shoulders with some of the most famous political personalities. A kind of Oscars for ugly people. The former PM may even have to hop off and catch a West End show. I'm told the Book of Mormon is on. It'll be a trying time.
All right, thanks, Nick.
And before I go, Mr Howard would like to send a message to the families of any other sickly or recently deceased heads of state that he is available for funerals, wakes and bar mitzvahs. No country is too small, Tom.
All right, thanks again, Nick. And it does sound like the funeral's not just a political affair, with pop culture icons Andrew Lloyd Webber and Jeremy Clarkson also set to attend. Our resident star spotter and political reporter Mark Humphreys will be there on the black carpet, and he joins us now from outside St Paul's Cathedral in London.
I am flashing back, Tom. This invite list is packed with names I haven't seen since I was in high school. Oh, Jeffrey Archer. Was he that kid who put pencils up his nose?
Famed author, Mark.
Yeah, that's him. Pencils. Jeez, some of these people have really let themselves go. Well, at least Howard's kept a consistent look for the past 40 years.
And Mark, do you think it's going to be hard for Mr Howard to rekindle his old friendships?
Ah, no, not at all. He's going to love getting the old gang back together. And if there's one thing John Howard loves to do, it's talk about the old days. It'd be good to have a laugh about how all that faulty Iraq intelligence led to a decade of bloodshed.
Well, actually, Mark, George W. Bush isn't going to be attending.
Ah, crap. That's Howard's #1 guy. Howard was going to bring his little deputy hat. Now, this thing's going to be a washout.
And I hear that Nelson Mandela can't make it either.
What? But Howard was going to wear his Wallabies jersey and tell Mandela how much he enjoyed Invictus. Well, who else has pulled out?
Mikhail Gorbachev, Nancy Reagan. Like Mandela, they're both too sick to attend.
This is just like my high school reunion. Well, I just hope those big kids don't start calling him Little Johnny again and slap his chrome dome.
Well, to our second story, and today Qantas endured a stream of abuse on social media after announcing it would no longer be serving pork or food containing alcohol on its European flights via Dubai. Posting on its Facebook page, the airline wrote,
"Hi guys, you may have noticed some comments have been removed from our page. We encourage all feedback, both positive and negative. However, comments which violate our house rules will not be tolerated."
Oh, no, that seems a little bit rough, Qantas. I mean, it's just food. How bad could comments about removing some pork dishes really be?
Big mistake, Qantas. You've sold out to terrorist backers to a killing Aussie diggers.
Okay, anything that doesn't mention terrorists?
Shame, shame. What next? Female genital mutilation in flight?
We are still just talking about a slight menu change on one of their routes, right? Well, David Ferrier joins us live now from that Qantas route to Dubai. David, how are the passengers reacting to the change?
Oh, furious, Tom. A ban on pork is bloody outrageous. I just went to order bacon and eggs, and you know what they gave me? And eggs. Do you know what this is?
A minor inconvenience?
Un-Australian, Tom.
Well, David, what about Qantas's other decision to stop serving food that's been prepared with alcohol?
Un-Australian, Tom. I love my coq au vin. What the hell do they expect me to do now? Just eat cock?
No, well, you can still drink the van. They've only banned alcohol in the preparation of food.
Yes, Tom, I can drink my alcohol, but I can't eat it. And do you know what that is?
Being culturally sensitive?
Un-Australian.
Dave, I have to ask, if you're so concerned about being un-Australian, why are you flying to another country?
Because travel broadens the mind, Tom.
Well, in the wake of Qantas' decision, many customers have vowed to boycott the airline, saying things like, "We'll never fly your airline now," hating Australians and bowing to Sharia law for profit. Which just leaves Qantas as the airline for people who can go 8 hours without pork and are happy to eat quite literally everything else. Good luck filling those seats. And for those wildly patriotic passengers now searching for a more true blue flying experience, there is a clear gap in the market for a catering company to offer an authentically Australian in-flight menu.
One step ahead of you, Tom. Ever since I heard the cries of Australia's bigoted community, I've been working tirelessly in the kitchen, developing an airline menu that is completely reflective of our fair dinkum Aussie lifestyle.
Well, that sounds fantastic. What have we got here? A soft damper roll with some Vegemite and a hot cup of Billy tea?
No, we've got a laksa, a Rogan Josh and a kebab with extra hummus.
Oh, I thought it was an authentically Australian menu.
And what's more Australian than item number 4 on my menu, pad thai.
Pad Thai? Rach, that's not even from here.
Excuse me? Where do you think I get my Friday night takeout from, Tom? Thailand? Nope. I get it from the restaurant down the end of my street in Australia.
And finally, 4 major Japanese car companies have issued a recall notice because the airbags supplied by Takata Corp are at risk of catching fire or injuring passengers. Because when you're upside down on the side of the road with a mouthful of blood, the last thing you want is to have to curse your flamin' airbags. Which would be a clever pun, except no one would be there to enjoy it because all your passengers are already dead. Now, this recall affects cars built between 2000 and 2004, and that's 12 years ago. To think all of that crap of mine that died after just 10 years I could have replaced. My puppy stopped working after 6. Because these vehicles were built up to 12 years ago, the car companies face the added challenge of trying to track down the owners who've since sold their cars, starting with Gumtree advertisements that claim the car has killer airbags. No surprise, Clark Richards has one of the affected cars. Clark, have you taken your car in for repairs yet?
Oh, she'll be fine, Tom. I've had Mazda Zabansky for 10 years and she's never hurt me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, but it is broke. Takata says the airbag for the front passenger seat may not inflate correctly.
Great. That might mean less people try and scab a lift.
Clark, there's also a risk of fires starting and metal fragments shooting up towards the windshield.
Well, I'm still not taking it to the shop, Tom. They'll never give it back to me. I ride Mazda hard, but if I don't look under the hood, I won't have to face what's there. What you don't know can't hurt you.
Oh, Jesus, Clark, that's a pretty ignorant attitude. You should take your blinkers off.
Oh, they're not on, Tom. My blinkers haven't worked since 2005.
So how do you indicate?
Indicating out of the passenger side's a bit of a stretch.
So you're not even a little bit worried about not having airbags?
Tom, this car's 12 years old. The airbags are the least of my problems.
And so you're just going to continue to drive around in that death trap?
Death trap? This car saved my life.
Oh yeah? How?
3 weeks ago, I picked up a hitchhiker and he told me I had to roll at 12 or he'd kill me.
Oh, wow. Okay, what happened? What'd you do?
Well, Tom, in a stroke of luck, a kangaroo leapt out in front of me. I slammed on the brakes and the passenger airbag shot metal shards and flames into the chest of my new friend, killing him instantly.
My God.
Those airbags saved my life, Tom. And to think Takata wants to recall them.
Well, Clark Richards there, proving once again that hitchhiking is a dangerous game. If you need to get somewhere, take a plane. Well, unless you're a culinary racist. Good night.